Well, hey, when you look outside this morning, or if you did look outside this morning, you might have saw some lightning, but it looks like it is shaping up to be a nice day. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick told us it would be kind of an active morning once again, but Thomas, it will shape up to be a nice day.
Yeah, just like yesterday, we had the morning batch of showers and thunderstorms, and then that gave way to a much nicer afternoon, and we're on for the exact same thing today, though there are a few more thunderstorms this time around than compared to 24 hours ago. So let's jump straight into things. The most active weather is over North Idaho between St. Mary's, kind of getting close to 4th of July pass, I think. At least a couple of these thunderstorm cells have just been drifting towards the north and east. Meanwhile, in Spokane, we're not seeing anything kind of upstream, or at least not towards our south and west. So we've actually enjoyed some dry conditions for a couple hours, but there is a little bit of a thunderstorm that is kind of nearest 9 Mile Falls right now. We pan a little bit farther off to the west. Bit of rainfall between Moses Lake and Grand Coulee, the Wilbur areas as well. I mentioned 4th of July pass. I want to see if I can get the camera to pop up. Maybe one more sec. Okay, we'll just move right along then. As for our downtown camera, yeah, we've actually had some dry conditions. Actually, decent bit of sunshine trying to gleam through a little bit of that cloud cover. Again, we're one of the few areas that have seen more dry conditions than not, at least here in Spokane. But we will be tracking some thunderstorms through about 10 or 11 o'clock this morning, and then that gives way to a drier and sunnier and warmer afternoon, just like what we had yesterday.
After a lot of confusion and back and forth, it's now confirmed the Hatch Road Bridge on the backside of Spokane South Hill is not reopening today. And this is something that we've been covering very closely. So we actually learned that the city walked back those statements that it would reopen last night around 5 o'clock. So this is because they learned more that more needed to be done before they could open. But now they're saying early next week is when the road will be open. A little confusing though, so we've broken this down for you on KREM.com. What we've learned from city leaders is that Hatch Road would reopen, but again, they're saying that they needed to spend more time giving it a final inspection. There's an additional section of the bridge that needs some more work, and therefore it will not be open. We're told that residents, though, very eager to see this open. They just can't wait for it to be back up and running.
Well, I'm spending close to $100 a week driving around. It's a five minute vehicle commute to work, and on my bike it's about an 8-minute ride, so it's going to make it a lot nicer.
The bridge has been closed since March of this year. The city closed the Hatch Road Bridge to replace the bridge deck. It was originally expected to reopen on July 31st. So even though the bridge is not opening today, it is technically still ahead of schedule if it opens by next week. So we'll keep you updated on this situation.
Happening today, Senator Patty Murray is expected to be in Spokane to discuss reproductive care, as well as discuss an electronic health record rollout. Now, she plans to tour a local reproductive health care clinic and even speak with leadership to understand how the overturning of Roe v. Wade is impacting them. She will also be visiting the Mann-Grandstaff VA Medical Center to discuss the rollout of the Oracle Cerner electronic health record system. In the meantime, the expected uptick in patients seeking an abortion has already started in Washington state. Senator Maria Cantwell acknowledged the potential of punishment for patients who travel here and for the care providers as well. Senator Cantwell is calling on the Department of Justice as well as the U.S. Attorney General to provide clarity about which laws in other states put patients and abortion providers in Washington at risk. The new state agency that is supposed to investigate police this summer will not meet their deadline.
Yeah, in a law signed last year, the newly formed Office of Independent Investigations was supposed to start looking into deadly force police cases 5 days ago. But the agency's director, Roger Rogoff, says the office has not hired or trained enough investigators yet, and policies still need to be written. The director says they're still months away from taking on investigations.
What do you say to people who are going to say, well, look, they're already falling out of the gate here?
Sure, and I think we would be falling out of the gate if we started conducting investigations when we weren't ready to conduct investigations.
Once the office is up and running, its investigators will have the authority to investigate any police agency in the state following an officer's use of deadly force. It's actually the first of its kind in the U.S.
Pharmacists can now give the leading COVID-19 pill directly to patients under a new U.S. policy. Paxlovid is intended for people with COVID who are more likely to become seriously ill. Previously, physicians could only write a prescription for the antiviral drug. This announcement comes as COVID cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are rising again.
It's time for your morning rush. More news in less time. William Thompson pleaded guilty to intentionally hitting and killing Washington State Patrol Trooper Justin Schaefer. In March of 2020, Thompson was chased by troopers down I-5 after robbing a convenience store. Schaefer tried to stop Thompson using spike strips. Thompson swerved around them. He then intentionally hit Trooper Schaefer. One man was flown to Harborview in Seattle after a truck fire in North Spokane. The man was doing work clearing asbestos on a vacant home yesterday. While walking to his truck, a fire broke out where he was severely burned. The Spokane County Medical Examiner identified the body found in the Spokane River last month. 30-year-old Shane LaMonica's body was found on June 19th near the Downriver Golf Course. Police are still looking into how he died. Visit Spokane is showing positive growth in visitor spending. In 2021, about 10 million visitors spent more than $1.2 billion across the region. The total economic impact kept more than 16,000 jobs. It also generated almost $200 million in state and local tax revenues. And that's a look at your morning rush.